we had the pandemic going on, and Trump came out and said, "We think maybe this hydrochloroquine might help." The instant he said that,
Yes.
I knew we were never gonna ever learn the truth about that medication, because everybody immediately went to their camps. The Trump. Speaking of competition,
Yes.
downtown there's a Pokemon tournament going on.
Is there really?
Holy shit, what a bunch of dorks! A bunch of them are little kids,
Sure.
walking around with their iPad looking for Pokemon. There's a Pikachu somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to take my 8-year-old at the time out to catch Pokemon.
Well,
So,
there
yeah,
was
yeah.
a lot of adult males out there.
By themselves, just...
Oh my god. We don't kink shame and we don't hobby shame,
No.
says the Star Trek geek and the Star Wars nerd. I get it, but
However.
shit, man, you guys. Team USA is A-OK. Charles, you're not really a sports guy, but...
No, but I do enjoy... Well, I mean, I enjoy beach volleyball. and I do enjoy the Olympics.
I love international competition. I really
Yeah.
do. And though Charles, Charles is a high-level power lifter, so he understands athletics and competition.
Yes,
so
I do.
not
I do.
completely-
I love watching
Okay.
the power lifters and their
All right.
competitions. Yeah. It's always fun.
There, believe it or not, has been some controversy at the Olympics.
Controversy, you say?
And it happens to involve gender.
Okay.
There are 2 boxers
Oh,
participating
no. I know what you're talking about.
participating in the women's boxing event who have questionable gender.
When I looked this up so that I could play something behind us, I was going to play the actual boxing match, but I couldn't find anything longer than a minute long, and
Yeah.
now I understand why. So I was scrolling down, and I was like, "Oh, here's one," and you started laughing. You're like, "That's not even the right one. That's somebody
That's
totally
the other
different."
one, right? So the one that's getting most of the attention is Algerian Imane Khalif.
Okay.
And I'll put pictures up and stuff like that. And the other is from Taiwan.
Okay.
A Taiwanese fighter who's also winning, Lin Yuting
Okay.
of Taiwan. Okay. Both of them were not allowed to compete at the IBF, is the International Boxing Federation. They had their world championships last year,
Okay.
and both of them were not allowed to compete because their blood and or urine test showed high levels of testosterone. Way above the legal limit. Like, you bullshit, you guys. The fuck out of here. Weren't allowed to compete. Okay. Algeria, Taiwan.
Sure.
They are allowed to compete in the Olympics
Awesome.
because the Olympics defers that kind of testing to the host nation.
Oh, so like, hey, Taiwan, is it okay for him to compete? Seemed to some drug stuff. I don't know no drugs. He goes. So
The IOC uses your passport, whatever it says on your passport for your gender, that's what you are. And they both happen to have female stamped on their passport, so they can compete. Here's the thing. Okay, this is compounded now because nobody will give you a straight answer.
okay.
Some people, for the Algerian Imanye, somebody's just saying, it's a man. It's a guy. They're trying to cheat. They snuck a guy in
Yeah.
thinking we're not going to notice. And then the Algerian side, this is bullshit. She's being persecuted. She was released from the boxing championship because of a medical reason. Like, well, what was the medical reason? The failed testosterone test? Nobody's giving a straight answer. And that gives you this wild speculation.
As to what in the world is going on.
Do you know the name Semenya Castor?
I don't.
Semenya Castor was a track star from South Africa who is done competing now, even though she's only like 32 years old. She could compete still, but was just, fuck this shit. Who went through something similar.
Okay.
Was dominating, especially in, I think, the 800 meter was her specialty. And Semenya Castor looked very masculine. I'll show a photo, but I mean, there was some controversy there too, because not only did she look masculine, she was dominating. That's Semenya Castor.
Oh, wow. All right.
Won some gold medals. There was all this controversy. They finally went and did some testing. This is a sad case because it was nothing that she did on her own. She wasn't trying to cheat or be dishonest or anything like that. They did a test, and midway between female genitalia and where her ovaries would be
Right.
were functioning testes.
Oh,
Inside where her ovaries should be.
wow.
Dumping
Okay.
out the normal amount of male testosterone. But she's got a vag. But she's got functioning testes. How
Yeah,
do you
how do you-
accommodate that? This wasn't a deliberate attempt to cheat anyone.
No,
This
but
person
I mean,
was born like this. What do you do?
that is a
well-
good question because like it's one thing when you're chemically cheating, you are altering yourself in order to have an advantage.
Yeah.
But what if you're literally born with it?
Well, that's the thing. So what are we doing here? Who are these two athletes? Why can't we get a straight answer out of anyone?
Right? Are these actually men transgendered? Are these?
I don't know.
Are they just women with a lot of testosterone in them?
Why can't we get a straight answer out of anyone? And that leads to crazy speculation. And then because it's trans stuff or gender stuff, we got to politicize that because we do that
Well,
to
of course.
fucking everything in this fucking country now.
I hate that shit.
You know, the instant this goes back. Remember when we had the pandemic going on and Trump came out and said, "We think maybe this hydrochloroquine might help." The instant he said that,
Yes.
I knew we were never going to ever learn the truth about that medication. Because everybody immediately went to their camps. The Trumpsters just immediately, without any research or education, just he says it's good, so it's
So it's
good.
good. This is how it works.
Consequent, the other side, without any research or investigation,
Exactly
just
the
took
same.
the opposite. No,
Yeah.
it came from Trump, so it must be bullshit. That is not a way to make educated, informed decisions. The same thing is happening here because Trump put out this tweet, of course. Under my administration, no men will compete in women's sports. That's a dog whistle. You know what a dog whistle is?
Yeah.
This kind of under the radar inflammatory rhetoric that you can't really say out loud, but your people know exactly what you're getting at. When those cops killed George Floyd on camera, and people, you know, one side said, "Hey, BLM, defund the police," the dog whistle on the other side was, "Our brave men and women in uniform need all the support and protection they can get. They protect us from these inner city violent criminals who terrorize our street." You know exactly what they're saying. It may as well fit the fucking N-word. It's a dog whistle. We know what you're saying.
The same kind of thing is happening right now here.
With this, the instant you say, trannies trying to compete with women, we don't know if that's the case. So what do? You sit in the middle and suck on it. What? All it would take was someone to release the results for why did it not get to compete in the World Championships last year? All they released was the blood results. Okay, are they injecting? If so, they're actively cheating and shouldn't be allowed in the Olympics.
Agreed.
Are they like the Caster Semenya where they have some ambiguous gender? If so, we have to address that differently.
Yeah. And we probably should come up with some kind of rule for it. Even if the rule is, yeah, if you're born this way, you just have a natural advantage and you should be allowed to use it. Or not. One way or another, someone's got to make the decision and put it on the books so that we have rules for these things. Because it's getting crazy.
I mean, you don't want to.
And I get it. You don't want to offend anybody. You
Well,
don't
no,
want
but you don't
anybody's
wanna-
feelings hurt. But I mean,
You don't want to discriminate against anyone either.
No.
I mean, would Caster Semenya have dominated the 800 meter competing against men, biological cis-born men? Probably not. Probably not. But that's life, isn't it? I would
Right.
take dead last every time in that event against high school kids.
Yeah.
That's life, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know, man. It's so complex, but we have always tried to look at any issue objectively, and even if we can't agree with one side, we'll always look at it from the other side
Yeah, at least.
and hope to come up with some kind of conclusion that is based in fairness and maybe empathy and kindness.
And when we talk about the fairness, let's also look at it from some of the other competitors. What do you do when you are the other competitors and you know that this one person you're going to have to compete against eventually has this extreme advantage? I mean, does it just crush you? I mean, like, you're not talking about I have a chance. You're talking about there is no chance in hell I am going to win this.
Well, that's not necessarily the case. Like the Italian girl that she fought, Carini.
Okay.
45 seconds into the match, Carini went to her corner and said, "This is bullshit. I'm not doing this." And then later came out and apologized and said it wasn't because I because she hit hard or because
Right.
I didn't. It's because I knew my Olympic. It was my first match of the games, and I knew my Olympic dream was over already, and I got frustrated.
Oh,
This Imani has been beaten in her career 9 times. She's not this undefeated Mike Tyson.
Scared of the real man. I'll fuck you till you love me, faggot.
She's been beaten 9 times by regular cis-born women. So it's not that great
Well,
of an
then it's-
insurmountable advantage.
Well,
And
then
until
is
we
the-
know the nature of it,
right.
we can't even say if it's unfair or not.
Well, then is this a media thing where the media is just latched onto it and like, this is a controversial topic.
Right.
Let's blow the shit out of this on Twitter.
They do exactly what they do. They make up a bullshit clickbait title and just feed it to you because it gets guys like us talking about it. It gets you clicking on it.
Yeah.
The guys on Fox News can put up the talking heads and talk about the destruction of American values. It's all bullshit from top to bottom. Just tell us the story and we'll decide.
Yeah.
A 5-year-old can tell you right away if it's fair or not.
If you've been following the story, I don't know how you couldn't be, because it is freaking everywhere. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. So put them in the comments down below. I mean, do you even know what?
Tilt that,
Look at that. Look at that. If you've been following it, what is the version you've been hearing? That's what I really want to know.
It'll depend on what echo chamber you live in.
Yeah.
Because if you're only watching Fox News, you're getting their take. If you only watch MSNBC, you're getting their take.
If you're only watching us, you're only getting our take, which means you don't know shit.
I don't know. I just wish somebody would just be honest. You don't need to stretch it out and play games and twist shit and try and spin it. Just be honest with folks. We'll understand.
That's it. That's not that hard. Is it?
I don't
Not
think
asking
it
for
is.
too much.
If there was enough interest, you could form a Trans Olympics. You could make either a separate category or a whole nother game. There was a time where there was no Special Olympics. There
Yeah,
used to be no
that's-
Blind Olympic. There used to be no Para Olympics.
That's very true.
There used to be no Elder or Senior Olympics. You don't have to exclude people. Everybody can get a chance to compete.
Absolutely. You just want those competitions to be fair. By fair, you want everybody to have an equal chance. If you train hard enough and work hard enough, you can achieve. And that's supposed to be the whole point of the Olympics, right? If you train hard enough and put your heart and soul into it and sweat enough, then you can have an opportunity to achieve greatness, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, maybe that's the narrative. The true purpose of the Olympics was to get drunk and have an orgy at the foot of Mount Olympus,
Sweet.
but there were no women allowed.
Oh.
Not so.
Well, I mean, I'm still going, but I mean...
I'm only doing the rowing and the track, not the wrestling. Anyway, I don't know. That's where it stands. You can't make a judgment because nobody will tell you what's going on. You can't get a straight answer out of anyone, which means everybody is protecting their political viewpoint.
Right. And honestly, I don't know if we'll ever hear the full story or we'll ever know all the details of what's going on.
We will, because we said that about Samanya 10 years ago, and now we know the full story.
Yeah, but how long did it take before it finally all came out? So, same. I mean, these
10
Olympics,
years.
Olympics will be done and over with by the time we find out
yeah.
what the hell's going on.
Yeah. There's always there were 23 Chinese swimmers that tested hot for performance-enhancing drugs at the last games. They're still allowed to compete because China doesn't give a shit.
It's fair.
The Russians are still under suspension because everyone down to their ribbon twirlers were on steroids because Russians don't give a shit. It's the countries that are predictably going to cheat. It's North Korea. Of course they're going to cheat.
Of course.
It's Russia. Of course they're going to China. Of course they're going to cheat. Are you stupid? 23 swimmers. Fuck it.
Or are we supposed to have like some kind of games special or something where they're all
In Australia, December.
Yeah.
The Enhanced Olympics.
That's what it is.
It's wide open.
I can't wait for that.
That's going to be great. Because the last time baseball was interesting, you won't get it, but the last time baseball was interesting was when McGuire and Sosa were just smashing the shit out of every game. That's the last time baseball was fun. It's been shit ever since then.
I cannot wait for those games.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I can't wait for those games. I'm excited for
Yeah.
it. I can't explain it, but I feel like that's going to be something we're going to have to talk about.
Oh, we will.
That'll
Absolutely.
be
Most
fun.
certainly.
All right. Well, that's all we got. So guess we'll see you in another episode. Later.